look different? Do I look different? Do I look different or am I tweaking? Hold on, wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. What? Let me put some cooking in it. What? Yeah. Hold on a second. I'll be right there. I'm coming to the wonderful. Figaro, 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 Figaro. Hey, y'all. Howdy do? Today's a good day. So, we are here. Hello, Amber. Hello. I don't know why. Either I look different or my background or environment looks different. Something is different. In a good way. I kept looking at myself too, like over the last couple of days, and I was like, something about your face or something about something is different. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I've been working out and stuff. I don't know, but some is a little different. I think it's energetic, really. All right. So today we're going to be talking about the elephant in many people's room. Okay. So I don't know how many of you maybe have been dealing with this or feeling this way, but I know that there's a lot of people who have been put in a position to have to move back home or put in a position where they've been having a hard time really either connecting with their purpose or being forced to have to work jobs that are just necessary to maintain their basic necessities and well-being. Maybe some people have been dealing with a sense of stagnancy and stillness in their life, right? I'm picking up on this energy of a lot of people, especially millennials and Gen Z, kind of being in this stall period, this holding period. And kind of just needing a lot of change and transition, both materially and financially, but also environmentally and relation-wise, right? Like in terms of your friends, your environment, your family, etc. And here's what I want to give to you all as a message that came through to me in a channeling that happened and something that has been speaking to me for quite some time. This entire country, as we know, is at a crossroads right now, right? We are embarking upon the election season where the fate of not only this country, but also of the world may very much so be in the balance, right? It's hanging in the balance. And everything is pretty much in a limbo stall period, right? And a lot of people have been financially, because of the cost of living, because of just life happening, right? A lot of people have had to move and go back home with their families, or, because of just the way in which COVID really destabilized and uprooted a lot of people's careers. A lot of people have been put in a position of not necessarily being as financially abundant as they would want to be, not maybe being able to travel or do all the things that they really want to be able to do, or invest in themselves, their spirituality, their health, and all of that. And what I was shown in my visions, in my channelings, and my intuitions is this. What you all are experiencing, if you are experiencing any of the things that I have described, it is indeed a divine order and it is on purpose and you are being protected. The reality is that what is about to happen from what my channelings and if my foresight serves me well, despite how many people may want Kamala Harris to be president, looking at the astrological transits and placements of America based on America's birth chart, looking at the patterns of history, looking at the state of the world, looking at what is needed versus what is wanted, the truth is that Trump has to become president. Because for better or worse, Trump's presidency and whatever problems may come along that have always existed but never were fully and truly addressed. The truth is that it is a time of revolution. It is a time of transformation, and it is a time of radical change, both collectively and individually for everyone. And the type of change that is needed is not going to happen under the comfortable and copacetic and smooth or the illusion of efficiency that the Democratic Party provides. The truth is that the status quo has to be uprooted and disrupted and upheavaled. That is just the fact of the matter and the truth. And if Kamala Harris becomes president, it is going to put America under another probably 2 to 3 century cycle of the same old problems and issues that we have been dealing with over the last 3, 4, 5, 600 years, persisting throughout the world and throughout this country. The truth is that Democrats are pacifiers. They do what they need to do to get people comfortable to maintain the status quo, but the true bedrock and the root and the soil upon which the seeds of America were planted needs to be turned over and completely uphauled, completely overhauled. And the only thing that's going to give that kind of energy, the only thing that is going to provoke people, that is going to instigate and ignite people and get people into a state of action, whether that action is productive or destructive, is Trump's presidency. The truth is that all the problematic aspects of Trump is exactly what we need in a position of power to truly allow America's ugly face to fully rear its head in a way that it has never done before in the 21st century, that motivates and pushes people into a state of absolute organization and absolute revolution. And that is what my foresight is telling me is going to happen. And I personally, because of my awareness of patterns and all of that, I am very grateful that this is coming, and I'm very grateful that this is going to happen. But with this comes also a circumstance and condition that may not be the safest or the most hospitable for many different people and groups of people. And the reason why a lot of you all have not been allowed to get the jobs you want, the reason why a lot of you all have not been allowed to pursue the education or the spiritual paths and journeys that you want, the reason why so many people's social life has been uphauled and overturned, and a lot of people have lost a lot of friends, a lot of people have been in a period of seemingly isolation and hermit mode, is because you are being separated and distinguished for your protection. But not only are you being separated and distinguished from your protection, war is coming. And when war comes, you need to be closer to your families. And if you are not able to be closer to your families, you need to be as close and in alignment with yourself as you possibly can. There is a disbursement for the purposes of distinguishment and clarification that is happening. You are being separated and prevented from progressing on the things that you want to progress on, because when what is coming comes, it doesn't matter what job you work. It doesn't matter what your spiritual path and journey is. What is coming is going to fundamentally alter and change what everything is and who everyone is, politically, socially, spiritually, financially, emotionally. Everything is going to change. Who you think you align with, who you think you share values with, what you think your values and your politics are, what you think your vision is. everything is about to change and everything is about to be transformed, both for better and for worse, according to the alignment of where it belongs. And so you have not been allowed to start the projects you want to start. You have not been allowed to pursue the creative things that you want to pursue. Because even if you started it up and pursued it, it's all going to be put on a halt and it's all going to be unraveled and undone when the change that's coming comes anyway. The universe is protecting you by not allowing you to put your energy into people, places, and things that are going to be destroyed and unraveled once what's coming is coming anyway. So you are being put in a standstill for your own protection so that you are centered and still enough to properly move and direct yourself when the time comes. Because when the light hits green and go is the move, you need to be very clear and on two solid feet without any attachments to any jobs. You need to not have any attachments to any particular relationships. You need to not have any attachments to any particular community. You need to not have any attachments to anything. You are being removed from being able to attach yourself from different kinds of things for your own good and your own protection. That is what I have been told. So just hold tight, just be still, find your center, lock in, because after November, you're going to be very clear on what things is the major change that'll happen in 2027. I think you mentioned that year before, or maybe 9. So the next years, yes. So 2024 to 2027 or /2028 are going to be the years of absolute upheaval and disruption and dissolution. The next 4 years after this election are going to be where you are going to see a lot of independent people's governments and militias rising up. You're going to see a lot of independent communities fortifying and solidifying themselves as a means to not have to abide or be under the restrictions that this new governmental regime is going to impose. And when 2027/2028 happens, is when you're going to see the recollectivization of all of these independent communities and groups of people into a new era of America. America as we know it is about to die. Everything, life as you know it, is about to die. So you've had everything taken from you so that you can start the grieving process early, because you need to grieve what your life was. You need to grieve what you think your life is, who you think you are, and what you think things are supposed to be. You need to start the personal grieving process over your personal reality now, if you haven't started it already. Because after what happens in November, it's going to be a collective death, and it's going to be a collective grieving process. Okay? And that is the key that's happening. And you don't need your own personal grieving and attachments and hopes and expectations getting in the way of you understanding how to move properly within the macrocosmic shift that is going to happen. Because so far, everybody has been initiated into certain microcosmic shifts with your family, your relationships, your friendships, all of that, right? Because under Trump's last presidency, it's really been happening over the last 20 years, if we're really being honest, but really strongly since about 2017, right? So over the last 9 years or so, there's been a lot of events. People's personal spiritual awakening has happened. People have been catapulted onto healing journeys. People have been catapulted into radical truths about their families, about their careers, about their communities, their homes, their, everything. So the personal grieving process was initiated starting back in about 2015, 2017. But now that's about to take on a collective note. Okay? Because what's coming is going to affect Everybody. So then the general reality, right? You have your personal reality and multiverse that you live in, and there's the collective one. The collective reality is about to shift unlike it has ever before. So there's been a lot of categorization, right? Of identity, community, politics, philosophy, morals, right? All these conversations and all of this media and everything that's been going on has been provoking people to have conversations and experiences that isolate and distinguish people into certain groups and certain clusters of consciousness. I love that term, clusters of consciousness. Yes, clusters of consciousness. And a lot of you who've been completely isolated without any family, any friends, any community, or anything of that nature, and been struggling with your work and your job and all of the things, and you've only either had just enough to survive or you've been struggling, let me break you into a secret. The reason why that's happening is because you're a leader in what's coming. I don't know if you know that or not, but that's why. Because you're a leader in what's coming. Yeah. Those of you who've been completely alone, without any type of job or if you have had a job, it's only giving you just enough to survive, or you've had to constantly change jobs over the last couple of years. Those of you who either who've been forced to move back with family but haven't been really connected with your family, or those who haven't been able to move back with family and have been scraping by to survive, you're a leader in what's coming. Your rise is coming. See, a ruler understands that even when it has a family, not even a ruler's own family or own lover comes before the kingdom. So a part of integrating the mindset and consciousness of a ruler, of a leader of a nation, of a leader of a group, of a community, is you have to be free from those types of attachments. Attachments that may make you biased. Attachments that may distort your emotional perception, your mental perception, your spiritual direction. You've been isolated because if you got these family attachments and these friendship attachments and these work attachments, and you got all of these personal things that you are attached to, you can't selflessly guide. You can't selflessly lead. And you can't have clarity in the direction that not only serves you, but serves everyone around you. With what's coming, you are a leader. Step into your power, step into your authority, because you are about to realize the essential nature of why you are who you are, why you feel the way you feel, and why you are inclined in the ways that you are inclined. Spiritually, intellectually, creatively, emotionally, physically, materially, and all the above. The reason and method for the madness is coming very, very soon. So that is the message that I have for today. The channel message that I have for today. Right? If you got all these relationships and all of these connections and attachments that you are filtering your consciousness and your perception through, you're clouded, you're distorted. You needed to have those attachments and relationships and all of that taken away so that you can have a clear space to see the world clearly. Without bias, without ignorance, without fear. You needed to be removed from having to be complete. You needed to be removed from a state of hyper independence, while also understanding what it means to be dependent upon those who you may not necessarily agree with for the purposes of essential survival. That is why you've been moved back with your parents. That's why you haven't been able to move out. That's why you haven't been able to get the car or to get the job or whatever the case may be. Because with what's coming, you are going to be required to depend on people who you don't necessarily align with or fuck with, but those people are going to be necessary and essential for your basic survival. And it may not actually be your family, but your family is the testing grounds for you to understand how to tolerate and cooperate within a living circumstance and a survival circumstance that you don't necessarily prefer, but you have to engage with in order to survive and get to the next stage and the next phase of things. I know you may be tired of surviving, but with what's coming, you're going to be realigned with the groups and communities of people that who you are surviving with will turn into who you are thriving with. Because the type of mind you have, the type of purpose you feel connected and aligned to, the type of spiritual path you feel like you're on, the type of emotional healing process you are on, all of that is going to be uniquely aligned with the cluster of consciousness that is embodied in the communities that you are about to have to step into. And because there's going to be that alignment, and then there's going to be the external worldly circumstances that bind you together, because the truth is, with what's coming, you won't have a choice but to stick together and but to have each other's backs. It'll just be what it is. And with that circumstance, you will then begin to have to heal and to truly grow and evolve together with the people around you and with the people you're going to be around. And eventually, that will be the catalyst for you being able to pair your mind up with the mind of the group or the family or the community you're a part of in order to build something new, in order to grow into something new together, which is what is going to be the ushering of the age of Aquarius and the age of global brotherhood, sisterhood, and humanhood, but also the age of community and the age of humanity. Okay? So that's why you've been going through the stagnancy and the separation and all of that. It has a purpose. It has a function. It has a meaning. When Apophis comes through in 2029 will be when it has been collectively established on a very natural basis that America is now in control and in the hands of the people. Apophis, the comet, will mark the death of America as it has always been, and will mark the rebirth of America and the world as it is to come. So first, everybody has been separated and distinguished into unique clusters of consciousness. Next comes the circumstances that are going to bind people together for the necessity of survival, and then eventually building for thriving. And then after that, phase 3 is when circumstances will reach a state where even if we are in separate identity and community groups, spiritual communities and whatnot, everyone will be in agreement about one truth, which is that governments and power should never be held separately from the people. And that is when a new government will rise. A new age of politics, government, and everything will rise. A new society. So imagine a cataclysmic event that pushes everybody into these small little villages and neighborhoods. And then eventually everybody is like stabilizing and surviving and doing their best in these individual little villages and neighborhoods. And then eventually all these little villages and neighborhoods recome together and they form a whole new city, state, civilization. That's what's happening. That's what's been happening. So, know thyself. Get clear on it. Get clear on where you really stand. Make sure it's not informed by what you have been taught you should be. Make sure it's not informed by what you think you should be. Get clear on where you morally stand and make sure it's not from a place of, I want people to think I'm a good person. Get clear on the full spectrum of your humanity. If you identify with progressive ideologies and beliefs, get clear on why that is. What is the necessity for that in your life? If you are conservative, get clear on what that is. If you are neither, get clear on what that means. Get clear on what you want, on what you really want and you really need for your individual existence in life. Because that is going to be the guiding compass, not on what the group needs. All right? This is the time for the defining of the individual that determines where they belong in the group. We cannot organize the community and organize the collective and organize the group if people are not radically honest about who they really are, what they really want, what they really need, and where they really want to go in life. Get clear on that quickly, unapologetically. If money is a necessity for your life, if you want money, if you want more material wealth and resources, the reality of it is that that is going to be something that is possible. Because with war, with division, and with chaos comes opportunity. If you want to live a life without money, and you want to live a life without any type of responsibilities, sure, get clear on that. And find the people who agree with that and align with that. If you want to work and build a career and build a purpose and build an empire for yourself and yours and your community, your people, your family, whoever, get clear on what that is and what that means and stick to it. Get clear on you. There's no right or wrong to this. There is no right or wrong to it, right? It's just about the authentic truth within you. Because that is going to be, like I said, the guiding compass to who and where you belong. And that is going to be what is absolutely necessary and essential for your survival. Okay? Because if your personal vision, if your personal wants, needs, and desires, if your personal identity, if your personal sense of direction is not clear, the group, the community, the people you end up around are not going to serve you, and you are not going to be able to serve them. And any type of situation like that is going to increase the chances of fatality for everyone around you and yourself. Get clear on who you are, why you are who you are, and what that means for who you're trying to become and where you're trying to go in life. Very important. Write it down, write a list, think about it, meditate on it. But that needs to be your top priority. Because your visions, your hopes, your dreams are going to have to happen within the context of the community, the group, and the people that are going to be surrounding you after what's coming. And you all are going to work together and combine your minds and combine your work and combine your energy to build what that is. And there are others who carry the same vision, ideals, and goals and dreams and aspirations and identities as yourself. And you need to get with your people. And your people will find you. Don't worry about how to find your people. Don't worry about any of that, because the same way that when the George Floyd or the Michael Brown or the Trayvon, the same way that when Trump was in office, all of these different activism hubs and community hubs and collectives and centers and all of this stuff just started popping up everywhere, is going to pop up just like that. So it won't be difficult for you to find where you belong, but you won't know where to go if you're not clear on you. Get clear on you. Understand? Because it's important. Because in 15, 20 years, that is what's going to be what made or broke you. Don't get into a group of activists if you are not about the activism and social justice warrior stuff. Don't surround yourself with a bunch of anti-capitalists if you feel like money is a very logical and necessary resource for your life and for your existence, and it makes it efficient. Don't get around do not surround yourself with people of political ideologies just because those ideologies seem progressive. This is not the time to be fearful about the authentic nature of your truth and your views and your preferences and your ideals about the world for yourself. If a family unit is important to you, don't surround yourself with people. If building a family is important to you, don't surround yourself with people who would rather just leave family behind or don't really think that family matters, or they don't really believe in the nuclear family structure, or they believe in chosen family. Don't surround yourself with those people. If ownership and the right to bear arms is important to you, don't try to surround yourself with people who, I think guns are unnecessary and guns are bad, or no. And don't surround yourself with people who have communist ideologies that go against your individual autonomy and leadership and ownership. If owning land or owning a home or owning property is important to you, there is a community of people for that. And it will become very visible, clear, and apparent to you who everyone is and where everyone stands after November. So get clear on it. And if it means that your values and your principles are not strictly fitting into one particular box or group of people, if your values and your principles are not strictly leftist or right or any of that, there's a group of people who are in the middle as well. And there's lots of them. Figure out who you are, where you stand, and sit in that. Get clear in that and become confident and convicted in that. All right? That is my spiel, and that is my TED Talk on why you have not been able to progress and move in the direction you really want to be able to move and progress in, and what's coming, and what you need to be aware of about all the things. Remember when I told you all some months ago that there was going to be an event that was going to happen? I told you all last year in 2023 that there was going to be an event of like a collective download that was going to hit everyone around the same time, and it was going to align everybody's consciousness in the same types of ways. This is what I was talking about. It's coming later than what I saw it to come, but this is what I'm talking about. It started last October with the Palestine versus the Israel conflict. But it's going to come to its full culmination and apex in November. And the download and the message and the awareness is going to be about the truth of what America really is, has always been for any and everybody. And that is going to serve as the catalyst for us to realize we have to make it what we want it to be. So get ready. Now, that's not all I came on here to talk to you all and share with you all today about. I came on here to talk to you all and share with you all some breathing techniques, specifically that are aimed at bringing the cerebral spinal fluid, aka the Kundalini, aka the Gnosis, up and down the spine. Okay? So deep breaths, deep, long breaths bring the cerebral spinal fluid up the spine. Shallow exhales bring the cerebral fluid up the spine. So that brings the cerebral spinal fluid up. That facilitates the Kundalini rising. Shallow inhales and long exhales bring the cerebral fluid down. So, that brings the cerebral spinal fluid down. 4, tantric sacred sexuality. When you are masturbating and edging yourself on, and you want to bring awareness up from your body into your mind, when you're working with wanting to bring let's say you want to bring demonic intelligence and awareness up your spine and into your mind so that it can be transmuted into the angelic structures of awareness. You want to do deep inhales, shallow exhales. So, that brings the energy up. So it's like deep, long inhale, quick, brisk exhale. Okay? And bring it down, right? So when we get into invocation and evocation, invoking is bringing it in. Invoking it is bringing it down. Evoking is bringing it up. Evocation is bringing it up. So when you are evoking an energy and speaking a command into your reality, there's a certain way you want to breathe when speaking. When you are invoking, there's a certain way in which you want to breathe when speaking, chanting, or meditating. Also, the cerebral spinal fluid travels up and down the spine at 8 centimeters per minute. So, if you were to take a ruler and you were to measure the base of your skull to the base of your sacrum, right, in like the bottom of your spine, and you were to see how many centimeters that is, and you recognize that it takes 8 centimeters per minute, that lets you know how many minutes you need to be able to breathe to bring something fully up your spine or fully down your spine, right? So 8 centimeters. Where's my ruler? Give me just a moment. I need to get my ruler so that I can show you with a visual example. And this is scientifically proven, right? So also, holding your breath. So breathing in, so breathing in and holding actually causes the cerebral spinal fluid to kind of like oscillate in both directions in a specific area. So when you're trying to remove blockages in your energy centers and in your dantiyans or in your chakra centers, you want to breathe. And if you're trying to bring it up, you want to breathe, hold, quickly exhale. Breathe, hold, quickly exhale. Breathe, hold, quickly exhale. Okay? And the best way to do this, I would say, is 4 square to 5 pentacle breathing. 5 point breathing. So breathing in, Okay. So breathing in, holding, and breathing out. Every time you do that, that's 5, 10, 15 seconds. 15 seconds is a quarter of a minute. Okay. So it's a little bit of math involved here, but hold on, get my ruler. So, and if you don't have a ruler, this is what you need to do. You need to take something like some string, like a shoelace, and you need to hold the shoelace at the base of your spine and at the base of your skull. And then you need to make sure that you have the length. And then you can take your iPhone, right? You can take your iPhone and you can pull out your measuring tool, right? So you have this, you have your measuring tool there, right? And you pull that out, and then you see, and then it'll allow you to your spinal column. And then you see how long that is in centimeters. And then you figure out, okay, what is that divided by 8? However many that is divided by 8 is how many minutes you need to breathe in order to bring energy all the way up and all the way down your spine. That gives you a specific amount of time that you need to be meditatively breathing and chanting in order to fully invoke or evoke the energy that you seek. So for instance, I don't know how many of you were here before. I don't know how many of you are tier 3, but I was teaching about things such as Enochian spells and chants, right? So when you're doing Enochian spells and chants and you are invoking or bringing in the energy that is aligned with those chants, you want to do it for that amount of time or however much time it takes to reach different parts of your body. So for instance, if you do the amount of centimeters of your spine divided by 8, right? But then you do that divided by 7, it takes to reach each energy center, to each energy chakra. So for instance, I'll give you an example because it's best that most people learn by example. Give me just a moment. I'll be right back. I'm going to use my belt to do this. So I'm going to put my belt along my back. Okay. And I'm going to find the base of my skull. Okay. Boom. So this is how long my spine is from the base of my skull to the base of my back. All right. So boom. Now I'm going to take my handy ruler here and I am going to figure out. Hold on, I got to figure out which one is the centimeters because this is an architectural ruler, so it has multiple sides. Give me just a second. I know that's my inches. Yeah. One. Yeah. Okay. So that's 1. So that's 46 centimeters times 2. 46 times 2. Okay. 46 times 2 plus 32. So 46 times 2 plus 32. That's 124 centimeters. All right. So that's 124 centimeters. Let me just make sure that's correct. Give me just a moment. Because you could also do it in inches if you want to calculate it in inches. And then, dang, I'm coming on here to teach the esoteric stuff. And the people came in for the channeling and the prophecy, and then they just all left. That's crazy. Why they all just leave like that? Y'all came in here for the little tea, and y'all just like, okay, I got it. I'm gone. Bye. Dang, like tears. Tears. I'm like, shit. They just came in here for the little channeling and then just left. I'm like, well, oh well. Oh, it was like, I ain't here for that spiritual stuff, that woo-woo shit. I'm not, it was like, I'm not here for that, they're like, I don't trust this spirit. You said you came in after the tea. LOL. 12, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32 and a half inches converted to centimeters. Shoot. Oh, no. So that's 82. That's 82 and a half centimeters. My apologies. Sorry. I calculated that wrong. It's not 124 centimeters. It's like 124 centimeters is like 6 feet or something. Like that's like a whole height of a person. Like that's not my spine. Okay, so that's so we're gonna say 36 centimeters. 36 inches. So that's 91 centimeters. That's 90 centimeters. And 90 centimeters divided by 8. 90 centimeters divided by 8. Look, now they want to come back. Now y'all want to come back after I was talking crap. I was like, it was just 1 or 2 people up in here. And I was like, dang, all my people just left after I dropped the tea. I started talking about how to breathe up and down the spine and how to move the spinal fluid up and down the spine in order for you to be able to, invoke and evoke, but also circulate your cerebral spinal fluid if you have an excess of it. And then all of a sudden the people just started leaving. And I'm like, okay, well, y'all shady, like dang, like y'all don't want me to teach y'all about this. Okay, fine, shoot. Now y'all want to come back. Now y'all want to act like y'all want to come back. Now you know what? You know what? My feelings is hurt. Y'all all ghosted me. No. Let me stop. 90. Okay. So for me, you said I'm listening at work. Okay, period. So for me, I have to move. I have to breathe for 11.2 minutes. So 11.2 minutes of breathing is all it takes for me to circulate my cerebral spinal fluid all the way up or all the way down my spine, which means it only takes 11 minutes for me to fully invoke or evoke an energy within my body. Only 11 minutes. Ain't that something? That's all it takes. It's a good little 11 minutes. Now, if you did 11 divided by 7, it only takes 77 seconds. It only takes 77 seconds for me to breathe and fully charge an entire chakra. 77 seconds. So what is that? That's a minute and 17 seconds. Right? That's a minute and 17 seconds. That's all it takes for me to fully breathe through an energy center. Whether it's my root, my sacral, my solar, so that's what I'm saying is like it doesn't take a lot of time for you to do this, right? You can't tell me that you can't sit still for I'm 6'4", right? I'm 6'4". So if it only takes me 11 minutes and my spine is aligned with a 6'4" person, it's not gonna take you that long at all to do what I'm telling you to do. You don't take a whole lot. And it's very simple, right? Deep, long inhales, short, shallow exhale is bringing the energy down. Bringing the energy up. Let me type this in the chat. Deep, long inhales and short exhales brings cerebral spinal fluid up the spine. Short, quick, and deep inhales and long exhales bring the cerebral okay. Now, there was somebody in here before that asked me about nostril breathing. Who was that asked me about nostril breathing some weeks back when I told you all that that's a bit more of a complex matter and I would tell you all more about that at another date and another time? That was Amber, right? So the technique that I'm teaching you all right now, this is actually what you should be using that for. This is what you should be using the inhales and exhales with that I taught you all, right? And the reason I say that is because there's time where you are wanting, so bringing the energy up charges things up. Bringing the energy down cleanses things out. So when you are doing the tatwa or the nostril breathing or the chakra breathing by bringing the energy down the spine and up the spine, you want to be using these techniques because here's what I'm going to tell you. So deep inhales with a long hold of breath and short exhales brings the energy up the spine, but holds it in a specific area while jostling, in both directions to dislodge blockages and clear that and short and clear that area while bringing the energy up the spine. Screenshot the things I'm typing, y'all. Screenshot it if you need to. And deep, so then shallow, but not shallow, quick. Because you're not breathing shallow, you're breathing quickly. Quick, but deep. Inhale. And holding the breath. And then deep, long. Let me stop. Okay. Deep, long exhale. My mind is messed up right now. Deep, long exhales. Bring the energy down while jostling it in place to dislodge the energy / fluid to remove blockages while clearing Okay. So here's how this would go. If you are invoking, you do a quick Okay, so that is, I invoke the elders, bring forth the secrets of truth. Invocation is bringing it in, okay? Right? Cool. Like if you want to evoke something such as like increasing light or increasing joy, right? Mozo, vinu, mozo, vinu, mozo. So vinu is invoke. Give me just a second. Vinu is invoke. Okay. Gonu is I, as in the personal self. Vinu is invoke. Voronu is the elders. Ilhami is bring forth. Lahayada is the secrets of truth. Lahayada. Lahayada. Ha ha ha. Hayada. Like Hebrew, like Semitic language. Elohami. Ha ha. Kami. Lahayada. You see? So it's a certain way in which you have to phonetically speak that. All right? So these are some instructions for how to bring the energy up and down the spine. So for instance, when you are casting spells while performing sacred sexual masturbation, or when you are pleasuring yourself and you are edging yourself on to generate energy and power within yourself, right? When you're doing your sacred sexual spiritual practice, if you want to bring energy up the spine in order to produce, say for instance, you're trying to invoke the secrets of truth but conjure forth visions. You want to be bringing that energy up the spine to reach the mind, right? You want to be bringing that bodily energy and awareness up the spine to innervate and saturate the brain and the mind, so that when you go to sleep, the nature of your dreams and visions conjures forth the intention that you are wishing to gain clarity and insight and truth about. So how that would look is, it would look like this. For instance, it would look like right? Right. Actually, that brings the energy down. So bringing the energy, so deep, long inhales brings the energy up. Sorry, I had it backwards. My apologies. Yeah. So it would actually go like, if you're trying to bring the energy up the spine, it would go. Actually, yes. That's right. I did it right because it's a deep, long inhale, and the chanting is quicker because you're exhaling quicker, right? So it's a deeper. Okay, also, that does something. You start feeling like a shift and like a lightness come over your head when you do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Also, different types of perception and awareness, different types of psychic abilities are connected to different energy centers. So how long you do that chant influences how far up your spine or down your spine you are reaching in order to centralize the consciousness in the cerebral spinal fluid in that specific area to bring that energy up. So for instance, if you are trying to bring up this energy, you want to breathe in, you want to basically breathe the energy, you want to bring the fluid down a certain amount of time, and then you want to bring the fluid back up a certain amount of time. It's like going up and down Jacob's ladder, traveling up and down Jacob's ladder is what that is. If you are trying to bring the energy into the throat, there's a certain amount of time you want to do that chant and that meditation to come from the crown to the ajna to the back of the axis mundi, which is like the back of that nodule in the throat, right? So depending on how long your spine is in centimeters, know that cerebral spinal fluid travels up or down the spine at 8 centimeters per minute. Okay? You need to calculate the length of your spine. Calculate the length of your spine in inches convert that into centimeters and then divide those centimeters by 8. And the number you get is the total amount of time it takes to fully bring the energy up or down spine. If you divide the number of centimeters by 7, that is how much time in minutes/seconds it takes to bring the energy through each chakra point. Okay? So for me, my spine is 90 centimeters. So if you did 90 divided by 8, you would get 11.25 minutes. And if you did 90 divided by 7, you would get roughly 1 minute and 20 seconds. Okay? That's how you calculate that. Okay? Screenshot all of those instructions for your records if you ever want to apply it or utilize it. And just so that we're clear, I'm going to share my screen. You see this? Yes, forced inhalation can cause cerebrospinal fluid to move upward from the lumbar region of the spine along the spinal canal into the cranial vault and brain ventricles. This upward motion is a counterbalance to the increased venous flow of the brain and cranial activity toward the heart that occurs during inhalation. The interplay between CSF and venous blood systems helps to maintain a constant intracranial volume, which is known as the Monro-Killy doctrine. Okay. Mm-hmm. Give me just a minute. So here's an article. Okay, this is from the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health. And it talks about, even here, it talks about CSF flow oscillations during the non-rapid eye movement stage of sleep are deeper and slower than the oscillations during wakefulness, right? This change in CSF dynamics that occurs during sleep may increase the rate at which the brain clears itself of waste because of the increased exchange between CSF and ISF. You see? So the same way we leave our bodies and we astrally project, the same way, yes, it's black. Yeah. It's black for me, for you. You can't see that? You can't see that? Okay, you see it? Do you see this? Mm-hmm. So this is yogic breathing, right? And so it says here, previous research discovered that cerebrospinal fluid flow oscillations during the non-rapid eye movement stage of sleep are deeper and slower than the oscillations during wakefulness. This change in CSF dynamics that occurs during sleep may cause the rate at which the brain clears itself of waste because of increased exchange between CSF and ISF. Researchers in this study hypothesized that a similar alteration in CSF flow oscillations and CSF ISF exchange may occur during deep yogic breathing. So, the same way that we astrally project and we leave our bodies when we dream, this is it's the same type of phenomenon that you're encouraging when you're awake so that it is more effective when you are sleeping, right? So giving you better abilities to astral project and have visions and tap into your clairs and things like that, right? See? See here? During the MRI session, yep. Look. Researchers found that participants experienced a 16 to 28% increase in the power and velocity of the CSF flow in the skull during yogic breathing when compared to spontaneous breathing. Of the yogic breathing conditions, deep abdominal breathing led to the most statistically significant increase of CSF oscillation. Moreover, heart pulsation was shown to be the primary driver of the CSF movements during all the breathing conditions, with the exception of deep abdominal breathing, when there was a similar contribution of power from both the respiration and heart pulsation. So, your heart is the Merkaba. Let me show you something. You see this here, right? Your heart is the Merkaba. Your heart is the Merkaba. The Merkaba vehicle is the light vehicle that you use to travel throughout metaphysical dimensions, right? They talk about Merkaba, light vehicle, light traveling, right? And traveling throughout different spaces and time. So, when you are dreaming, like I've spoken about this before, you notice how when you are experiencing something stressful or something that is triggering for you when you're dreaming, your heart rate increases. You feel more racy in your body and your spirit and your mind. And that causes you to either move more quickly or the dreamscape quickly changes. So your brain and your mind, your subconscious ends up simulating different realities based on how quickly or more stable your heart rate is flowing. So the actual Merkaba that you use to travel throughout these different dimensions and different realities in the astral plane, in the dream plane, in the ethereal plane is actually regulated and influenced by your heart, right? Yep. And I always end up waking up when I get too stressed in a dream. Exactly. Exactly. Because what happens is your heart begins to activate in a way that is aligned with the circadian rhythm of wakefulness. So there is a certain rhythm to how your heart beats and how your heart rhythms when you are asleep versus when you are awake. The body and the brain and all of the organs move at a different rhythm when you are asleep versus when you are awake. That's like the circadian rhythm. So when you are under a high stressful environment, when you are asleep and you are dreaming and you end up waking up, it's because your awareness is snatched back down into your body because you feel as though something is a threat to your body. And so you come more presently in your body as a means of defending yourself against what you are perceiving and experiencing through your mind. So you're having this this astral, this outer body experience when you're dreaming, and this environmental threat in your dreams is causing you fear, which makes you feel as though you need to defend yourself physically. So then your heart-based awareness and your consciousness comes back into your vessel so that you wake up to defend your safety in your physical material environment. But this is why I emphasize that exercise, cardio is very important. Cardio and meditation are very important because cardio strengthens the heart muscle. Cardio puts you in a position where when you do high intensity training, so like lifting weights and cardio, getting physically stronger and active, what it does is it contributes to the muscle of your heart being able to have stamina and endurance. And also it contributes to your ability to have an elevated heart rate while still having a calm mind. So that when you are dreaming, when your blood pressure rises because of the stressful environment or the stressful situation, you can wield your consciousness more effectively, where you can use your mind to have better control and impact over your environment. And this is how you use your mind to conjure forth your spirit animals and the elemental forces. So you can conjure forth the speed and agility of a gazelle. You can conjure forth the ferocity of a wolf or the ferocity of a jaguar or a lion. You can conjure forth the agility and the speed of a cat. You can conjure forth the awareness and the consciousness of a fish if you're underwater. And by being able to be more grounded and centered in your mind, you can clearly bring these spirits and awarenesses over you while you are dreaming so that you gain the better ability to navigate the dream terrain and lucidly dream and astral project so that you can get further in your spiritual journey and evolution of learning, of exploring, and of discovering in that realm. Because that realm has things to teach you about yourself, about your abilities, about the people around you, the world around you, even your foresight, your clairvoyance, your ability to see the future, your abilities of psychic recognition, right? Retrocognition, right? The ability to psychically perceive what happened in the past, even before you were born, right? To jump into past and future timelines. All of that is carried in your dream. You can access that through your dream state. And that then, obviously, if you can see the future or if you can see more about the past, does that not help you progress in your life in a worldly way? Where if you can see your own future, that increases your ability to get there and to know how you get there and who you are once you're there. So visualizing and becoming your future self can be done through your dreams, through lucid dreaming and astral traveling. But a lot of the threats and a lot of the upheavals that you experience in your dreams are results of conflicts and conscious battles that you are engaging in the waking life, either subconsciously or consciously, with people, places, and things of your environment. A lot of the resistance that you face in your dreams ultimately are metaphorical representations of the resistance that you feel against you in your real life. The fighting that you have in your dreams, the fights that you have, the battles that you have, they're symbolic of things that are happening both in your past, in your future, or in your present. And if you cannot stabilize, if you can't be grounded and present enough to pay attention long enough to fully absorb and observe what's happening in your dreams, and if your dreams are always flashing, or if you're always running, or if you're always in a panic every time you have a crazy dream, you can't fully transmute, alchemize, and move through that energy in order to create a clearer and clearer psychic landscape for you to conjure and evoke a new state of subconscious awareness. Because you also have the ability to absorb large amounts of knowledge, information that can contribute to your education, that can contribute to your worldly position. Knowledge is power. So all of these different things are possible through your dreamscape. But if your heart is not used to being elevated, if your body is not used to being in a stressful environment, if you don't feel secure, safe, and strong in your physical body, you are not likely to feel safe, secure, and present in your spiritual bodies. So, exercising and working out and dancing gets you comfortable and safe in your body, because when you are working out and exercising, you feel physically strong, which means that you also feel more durable and you feel more resilient and you feel more ready to take on physical material challenges. And when you are dreaming, a lot of the threats that you encounter feel very physical material, and your stress response and your mental response to that is as if it is very physical material. So the only way for you to strengthen your subconscious spiritual essence and body is for you to actively and consciously strengthen your literal body in the waking life. So exercise is a part of spiritual ritual practice. It strengthens the heart, it strengthens the lungs, it strengthens the muscles, and also different areas of your body carry different energetic spheres of consciousness, right? The same way that your organs carry your chakral awarenesses, your muscles carry different etheric energies, memories, and experiences within them. The body keeps score. So your arms, your hips, your thighs, your calves, your legs, your abdomen, your breast, your chest, your throat, your head, all of these parts of your body not only carry memories of the past, but also carry the awareness of the direction that you're headed in, which informs your future state of well-being and health. Not only that, though, these parts of your body are also places that carry gnosis, knowledge, information, because within these parts of your body are cells, right? And when you breathe, you bring oxygen to your cells, but also the lungs are the pump that pushes the blood and circulates it throughout the body. And the blood cells carry the gnosis and the information. So when you're breathing and you're exercising and you're bringing, like, say, for instance, you're curling your biceps, right? You're curling your biceps. You have to practice a form of mindfulness that centralizes your awareness in that region of your body. Knowing how to feel your body under a period of stress is also essential to conjuring your physical body in the astral realm and dimension. Because you have the ability to actually, through your mind, fully summon and conjure your physical body in that space, which gives you the ability to travel throughout that space more effectively and efficiently. If you can't bring your body into that space, how can you command your body how to respond, react, and behave in that space when you feel as though there is a threat coming for you, or something is chasing you, or something is challenging you in that space? You need to be in your body. So exercising and working out and building your strength, building your stamina, building the strength of your lungs and all of those things is very important to your spiritual development and evolution. Okay? Because it all plays together. That physical correlates to that spiritual, just like that spiritual correlates to that physical. You want to talk about traveling with your astral bodies and your light bodies and your ethereal bodies. Your ethereal bodies and light bodies and astral bodies all exist inside your physical body and temple. If you're not tending to that, the very home and temple that hosts these other layers of your spirit and of your being are not well. It's not well. So diet, exercise, and very practical lifestyle decisions and choices really dramatically influence and affect your experiences and your efficiency, your agility, and your power on the other side. You feel me? Also, that's how you self-heal yourself. Because you have the ability to energetically and you ever heard of astral healers? Have y'all any of y'all ever heard of astral healers or people who like heal on the astral or ethereal or planes, like these higher dimensional healers and people like, have you ever heard of things like psychic surgery? Like these beings that have the ability to extract like blockages or things in your spirit that like are affecting you. You can be your own astral surgeon, your own psychic surgeon. Your body, when you are sleeping, is already regenerating and repairing itself. Your body is already regenerating and repairing itself. So if you can build a discipline like working out and eating well that brings you into your body, or dancing that brings you into your body, yoga brings you into your body. If you can bring these practices and disciplines into your life, what ends up happening is you begin to be able to assume full body awareness in your dreams and in your astral experiences, but through the lens of your 4D, 5D, 6D self. So you can view your physical body from a higher dimensional plane. I'm sorry, give me a second. I got to plug up my laptop before it goes dead on me. Sorry, hold on. You can view yourself from these higher dimensional frameworks, and you can heal the parts of your body that are not well, including your mind, through these different through these techniques that I'm teaching you. You see what I'm saying here? You see? The same way that you can have SE, the same way that you can have sex in your dreams and wake up aroused, or wake up realizing that you had like an ejaculation or you secreted in your bed when you wake up, those types of physical symptoms of experiences in the dream and in the astral realm are actually like, that's what happens. So like, for instance, you hear about kids who pee in the bed and they say they dreamed about peeing and that's why they peed in the bed, right? Like you have this dream experience of you doing this very physical thing, and then it happens in the waking life, which means that what you visualize yourself doing physically to your body in that astral dream space ends up being cultivated in the waking world. It ends up manifesting in the waking world. So if you are learning knowledge and you are integrating and inserting knowledge and information from those higher dimensions and realms into your mind while you're there, you're going to come back with that as a form of intuitive, instinctual, or even just forwardly conscious knowledge and awareness. You see? So for instance, if you can see your future and see the success that lies in your future, and you know what profession you're going to be in, you know what your lifestyle, or you know the details of like what got you there, you can start doing that in your sleep. You can start learning the degree and the subject and the matter that you need to learn to attain that success in your sleep. I know it sounds so crazy and so woo-woo, but like I said, the same way that you can dream about peeing in the bed and you you dream about peeing in the toilet and then you pee in the bed, the same way that you dream about fornicating and having sex and then you wake up aroused, the same way that you are dreaming that you are having a very stressful or life-threatening situation and you wake up and your heart is racing and you're sweating and your body is distressed as though you are actually having that experience. Same thing with knowledge and information. This is how you jump timelines. This is how you quantumly leap. You understand? And all you have to do is exercise and first get your body and your temple strong. That's all. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's the first step. After that, there's other techniques and stuff that you can learn and apply. But first step is that. Get on it. All right, y'all. That's my TED Talk. That's my stuff for today. I hope that was beautiful. I hope you all got something from that. I hope there was some good information in there for you all to take in about breathing, about how to move the spinal fluid up and down, about how the Merkaba and the astral dream stuff work. And we're going to get more into some more stuff later on this week. Okay? Because here's the thing. Remember, I've been talking to you all about psychoactive plants and entheogens and stuff like that? Guess what? If you are drinking alcohol and it brings your occipital or your subconscious mind into the forward mind, and it brings your subconscious spirit and shadow body to the forward thing, you can use sigils and symbols and other things to implant your subconscious and your dream realm with certain power, awareness, and abilities through using alcoholic tinctures that combine herbalism. And there's other ways in which you can use certain things in the waking life. So all this is going to be tied in and connected together eventually. But I wanted to bring this to the awareness today. So love y'all. And thank you all so much. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye. Love y'all.